if you guys really want to know about the true history of the Earth, learn about the suppressed history of our galaxy, and learn about the cosmos in a way where, your mind will be stretched beyond the limits to this higher perspective about our existence.
Welcome to Fortune and Romance with your host, Taylor Fortune, and...
Yay, Shay. Good, and you?
All right. Today we have on the podcast a man who needs no introduction, so I'm actually going to just let him introduce himself. Ismael, you're a starseed, but I want it to come from your words, not mine, because I've read your book and it's incredible. But tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yes, I am an awakened starseed, a celestial in human form, just like the rest of us are. And I am here, like everyone else, to assist in the grand awakening and the birthing of a whole new world into the age of Aquarius, as prophesied in the ancient oracles. So just like the rest of us, we're each doing our part, and we're all contributing to this grand awakening that is taking place on a global scale at this time.
Love it. BA, I know you have questions, so I'm going to let you fire in.
Why do I have to fire in? Why am I always the one that has to fire in? I'm just loving my view right now. I don't know.
Because you're the best icebreaker we have here. Okay, I'll fire in. So, Ismael, you and I have done lives before. I've read your book. I know quite a bit about starseeds. But I think one of the things that a lot of people want to know about is how does that affect your day-to-day life? Because essentially you are in a divine calling that is somewhat about a savior of the universe and this big galactic spiritual war, but you also have to live in the 3D on planet Earth. You have to pay bills. You have to deal with your home life and all that stuff. How does this all factor in?
To me, it's more of a balance. It's more of a learning how to anchor the higher concepts or the higher realities into this lower frequency. And I do it through example. Part of my, spiritual growth and continued expansion and in my own personal evolution is the third dimensional challenges that we all face as, mortals, as humans, well, temporary mortals. But it's all part of the training. It's all part of the fortification of our minds, because they have to be mentally super strong. And then we also have to be emotionally very strong. So it's one of those things where I see it as a way to make me a better person, to make me a stronger person so that I could become a better version of myself. So all these third dimensional challenges that we all face, whether it's, trying to pay our bills, whether it's anything has to do with this third dimensional world. I do it in a way where I see it as a challenge. I see it as a way to overcome it. And I also find balance in life. So I love to explore the supernatural through meditation and Tai Chi and different techniques. Kriya Kundalini Yoga is my favorite. And then, because that's what initiated me into this whole awakening, the age of 20. But I also like to apply what I learned in my day-to-day life with the average person or those that are unawakened. Because it builds character through patience, understanding, and really just knowing that, how can I say this? That we are celestials, immortals in human form. We're the most advanced souls in the universe who took this call to come here at this time to help not only save the Earth, but the entire universe as a result of that. And so I take my position and my job as a cosmic ambassador, a person that is trying to bridge the gap between the Earth planet and the cosmic community. So I take my job very seriously. And that's how the way I do things. I do it with the understanding that I'm here as a cosmic ambassador. So I'm very mindful in everything that I do.
Can I ask a personal question?
Sure.
What do you wear when you meditate?
I just wear whatever I have. Like when I meditated earlier, I went to the beach. I was wearing my thermal because it's pretty cold in Southern California. and I just wear whatever I have. I never meditate in my underwear or anything like that unless I'm home.
Taylor does.
I do. I do meditations in the
Taylor
nude,
lets
actually.
it all hang out.
Yeah, I do. You know what's funny? Because I live alone in my loft. I talk about this all the time. I actually work out naked.
That's interesting.
It is.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's.
I ride my Peloton naked all the time. My neighbors love it. I put my Cash App on my window and they tip me.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, I've always gone to gyms my whole life. Like you, I've been working out, seriously for 20 years. And I got a loft here in LA, and I have my whole workout set up just in my loft. And at first it was just, just board shorts. And then I was like, why do I even wear board shorts? I live alone. Then it was underwear. And then I have like mirrors everywhere. And I know it sounds like a vain Leo thing or whatever, but it just started becoming this thing. I'm like, why am I wearing anything? Like I have like huge windows with I have like blackout blinds and everything. I'm like, this is just me on my own. And it started, to not bury the lead, it's not anything weird or perverted. It actually started just feeling like really natural, and I almost started creating like a philosophy out of it. I'm like, this feels like man in his most primal, like divine masculine state, like just fucking lifting weights, feeling like you're like a divine protector, seeing yourself in the mirror and like in your entirety as God made you, almost in some kind of Michelangelo Sistine Chapel kind of portrayal, very Greco-Roman style. And I don't know, maybe I'm just justifying it because I like it, but yeah, I dug it. I mean, I dig it really. In the meditation too, the exact same thing.
I love it.
Cool. Yeah. I'm unable to do that because I do go to the gym, and
yeah.
I don't think the man in my gym would appreciate me in my underwear.
No. I think BA would, but yeah, I don't know if the gym would. Okay, wait, BA. Okay, hold on. Before we get back to Ismael, were you serious about your Peloton naked?
Not exactly.
Okay.
That would be really uncomfortable because the seat's a little awkward, so
right.
I don't really. But I wear like small little booty shorts and like a sports bra because I'm in my house alone too. I mean, my dog is with me. He just looks at me. It's normal for him,
Yeah, I know. Actually, I was wondering about that, but I'm like, yeah, for a woman on a bike, it's a little different. I don't know.
Yeah, well, in my living room, I have a treadmill, and then I have my Peloton, and then I have like a little bit of weights and stuff. This all started because when all the gyms closed during COVID, so I had to keep the sanity some way.
Yeah.
So the sanity's still there. We're good now. Okay?
Yeah. So Ismael, welcome to Fortune and Romance. These are the byways, highways, avenues, and crazy alleyways of our conversations, and they go into strange places. But this is how we start to unpack people on a kind of deeper psychological level and get to know who people really are outside of just what they do. So yeah, tell us a little more about yourself. Tell us some more about the starseed. When did this download first come to you? I know it happened, I think you said in junior high or high school.
Well, my whole life I knew I was different. From the beginning, like I said before, at the age of 4 and 5, I was already playing with telekinesis.
Yeah.
I was teleporting, toys from one side of the room to the other, and my grandmother walked in and thought I was like Damien, the saint's son, and called the local priest to come throw some holy water at me, and realized that I couldn't do anything because I wasn't Damien. I'm
seeing BA's face right now.
Teleport yourself to Boston?
I'm working on that. But,
sorry, this is not like your normal show. I'm sorry.
I know. It's fun though. I need to just break free and explore these avenues too. I can't just be all serious the whole time. People get to see this side of me that I am down to earth and cool, just like you guys are.
Yeah. And we'll get back down to more like brass tacks on Wednesday when we do our live. It'll be more starseed oriented, Instagram, that kind of a thing. But yeah, here, this is part of what I talked about with BA originally. We're like, we're living in this highly censored, very fearful world right now. And her and I are very opinionated, but we're also very, very honest and open people. And we talked about originally, let's just do a podcast where we're just fucking free to say whatever we want, be ourselves, go wherever the conversation goes, talk about spirituality, politics, hot button issues, whatever, and just get down to back to human beings connecting again, Yeah.
Absolutely. That's always good. It's always good to just be real and, let's just have fun, I guess. Yeah. Since we are in these human bodies, so.
So wait, I want to touch back to what you said a couple minutes ago. So wait, so when you were that young, explain to me how you did what you did, and then you get the holy water thrown on you, because this is amazing to me.
Well, and you have a Catholic background too.
I do too. I talked about this in one of the episodes. Like, I grew up Catholic and stuff, and I just look at it so different now. So.
Well, back when I was a kid, like I said, I knew I was different, but I also had a connection to the force, or the field of intelligence that now science calls quantum singularities, and which is equivalent to the force of Star Wars. And I was always very connected. I was a strong empath. I had a strong connection to animals, trees, plants, and the elements from the beginning. I mean, I think I made it rain once when I was 5 years old, because it was, or was it that I stopped the rain because I wanted to go outside and play with my friends, and it was raining, so my mother wouldn't let me. So I went to my room, and I was talking to the weather, I was talking to the elements, and I was like, I want you to stop raining so that I could go play with my friends. And I didn't realize I had those abilities, and it stopped raining like within minutes. And so that's when I realized I was different, because not anybody can control the weather like that, especially at 5 years old. So I've always been very in tune with this energy field that is all around us, that is produced by all living things. And even up to today, sometimes I'll be doing something, and all of a sudden I stop what I'm doing, and I have a vision, because I've always been a visionary too. So I tap into this field, and I'm able to access any knowledge, any record, any information at will. So I've always been close to it. I feel like I'm a Jedi. I don't know. I feel like, well, I mean, that's the best way to describe it. Very connected to the force. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, you can stop the weather or change the weather.
You know what that reminds me of? One of my favorite scenes of all time in any movies. I know Ismael knows this, but I don't know if BA does. The first X-Men movie. You remember that one with first time we ever saw Wolverine and all that? The opening scene where they're at Auschwitz and they're trying to separate a young Magneto from his mom, and and he starts reaching out for her, and the gates of the concentration camp just start bending, because they're made of metal and barbed wire, and he's like screaming for his mom, reaching out to her, and the Nazis are trying to pull him away, and the Nazis keep sliding forward with him as his telekinetic energy keeps pulling the gates of the camp toward him. And I remember seeing that movie, I think it was about 19 when it came out, and I'd read X-Men comics my whole life growing up, and I was like, oh shit, they are taking this seriously. Like, this is a real movie with like a real emotional message, and I know you're a big X-Men fan, but your story, I see Damien in there, of course. I see Star Wars, Jedi, Force, and all that stuff. I see Mutation, X-Men, and a lot of that, even some of the like Firestarter and a lot of those movies in the 80s that were dealing with telekinetic government experiments and things like that,
Absolutely. These movies are in a way a disclosure. It's part of a disclosure. They're planting the seeds. They're getting humanity prepared for what's coming, and that's what's coming. It's the next stage of human evolution. So scientists are going to call it Homo galactus. The religious people are going to call them angels. The people like us, we're going to see it, or people within our community are going to see it as the return of gods and goddesses. So it doesn't matter which way you turn it. We're heading into that. We're heading into that era where gods and goddesses and wizards and mortals are going to coexist once again, as they did during Atlantean times.
Wow.
Yeah. We're like speechless.
I'm just trying to digest. I'm just so this is just so cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, very much. And that's the reason why the powers that be are trying so hard with their chemtrailing and their poisoning of the food chain, food supply, the water, the fluoride to deactivate or calcify the third eye. They're trying to, and then of course the medicine, they're trying to do everything in their power to prevent this human upgrade, this mutation that is taking place at a cellular level. And it's been going on now for about 30 years, and it has a lot to do with our Earth, really, or just our solar system entering a part of our galaxy that is a very high frequency radiation zone that is causing DNA to wake up and activate. So, those that are really old souls are the ones that are going to be going from 4%? I think that's what we're using, to 50, 100%. Well, everybody else goes up in increments. So to those that are going up in increments, they're going to see those that went to 50, that jumped to 50, 100% as gods and goddesses, because they're going to have amazing powers. They're going to be like the Eternals of the new Marvel movie. I haven't seen it, but people are telling me that is so dead on with what I've been talking about.
Oh wow, that makes me want to see it because I haven't seen it either.
No.
I bet BA's watched Eternals a bunch of times.
No, I absolutely haven't. No.
BA, do you know what a Marvel movie is?
I've never watched a Marvel. No, it's just I've never gotten into it. Please don't hold it against me. It's just not my thing. It's. No.
What's your favorite movie, BA?
My favorite movie was The Notebook.
Okay.
Do you guys know The Notebook?
Yeah, but it still ain't
That's
over.
like one story. I've seen it like thousands of times, and they get older and they're sweethearts and they die next to each other in bed.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so amazing. Like, I don't know. I've watched that probably 400 times. I can't.
Oh
I
my
can watch
god.
Sounds like a love
cry
story.
every time too. Every time.
It's the love story for what our generation, I guess. But I pegged you for Breakfast at Tiffany's kind of girl. Did you grow up on that one?
No.
No. No. All right.
Thank you, because I love Breakfast at Tiffany's, but no, it was The Notebook.
Yeah, it was a Notebook. Yeah. Yeah, that starseed stuff though. I am very excited about what's coming next with the okay. So this is what I want to ask about. Really, I want to talk more about the solar flash. And BA, do you know what the solar flash is? And it's totally okay if you don't.
I don't.
You don't? Okay, yeah, let's let Ismael explain it because there's going to be a coming change to our planet happening very soon. And Ismael touches on this in our book, our Cosmic Origins, but I want to dive into it more because this is happening much sooner than the 1,000-year ascension process that's going on. So you want to tell us a little bit about that, Ismael?
Sure. Well, as you know, the stars are real, the planets are real, the galaxies are real. Everything is revolving around something. As planets revolve around stars revolve around the galactic core, and so on and so forth. So what happens is everything exists in states of cycles. So the Earth is completing not only a 2,160-year cycle, which is the precession, which is the zodiac going from one house of the zodiac into another house, but it's also ending two of those, which is a 5,000-year cycle, which is known as a world age. And then there's 5 of those that make up a 26,000-year cycle, which is known as the Platonic year or the precession of the equinoxes. So right now we're culminating all 4 of those. We're ending not only a 2,160-year cycle, but we're also ending a 5,000-year cycle and a 26,000-year cycle. And so because of that, we're living in the most exciting times ever in the history of planet Earth. Why? Well, because our Earth is getting ready to go up into a different, higher density of reality due to the fact that our solar system is aligning to Ophiuchus, which is the core sun of our galaxy, or the central sun. And when it does that, the current existing population on the Earth is going to go through a genetic shift or a transformation. So everyone's going to be upgraded, everyone's going to be exalted. But there's going to be different levels of upgrade because that all is determined by the level of their soul. The highest, the oldest of souls are going to reach 100% capacity or more than 50. The young souls that are non-starseeds are going to just go up in increments. So they're still going to be mortal. They're just not going to die at the age of 100. So everyone's being upgraded, but there's going to be different stages of human upgrades. So we're going to have like maybe 3 or 4, where it's going to be like, you're going to have people that are going to live for 200 to 300 years, which are the new souls, which is fine because they're not going to have any illnesses or diseases. And because at the same time, we're going to have cures for everything, right? All this amazing suppressed technology is going to be released, part of the disclosure, as we enter this new era. And then at the same time, you're going to have those that are going to be like the shamans and wizards, or wizards and healers. They're going to have, healing energy abilities. And then above them, you're going to have like X-Men type people, where each one is going to have a certain gift, whether they're teleporters, whether they're telepaths, whether they are, able to manipulate the weather like Storm, or metal like Magneto. But then above them, you're going to have the most powerful ones. They're going to have multiple abilities. They're going to be able to fly, teleport, everything all at once. And those are going to be like the ones that are going to be in charge, because they're going to be the way showers. They're going to be teaching those that are on the lower levels how to reach those levels of power eventually in the long run. So that way everybody ascends. So in this new world, there's going to be different types of beings that are going to be coexisting. similar to the beings that we hear about in mythology, which really all mythology is just a minute trace or a minute description of the ancient Atlantean eras. That's all it is, because it was then where we had this type of reality coexisting, you know, where you had mortals, you had wizards, you had, you know, superhumans, which were the demigods, right? Those that were half god, half mortal. And then you have the gods and the goddesses, and the gods and the goddesses were like the supreme rulers. Mm-hmm. So we're heading back into that in this new world. And so that's what's happening. That's what the photon belt is. And the solar flash is the final emission, the final release of energy that is going to be sent by our sun, that is going to switch on the 96% of the genetic material that we don't use currently. And then it's going to, you know, cause all these upgrades all to take place all at the same time. But everyone's going to be on different levels of what I call in my book, human level exaltation, or different levels of exaltation.
Oh my gosh. So this, I guess there's no such thing as a stupid question. So what about the people that have gotten their, you know what, like, are they going to be, they're not going to be elevated because they're all like genetically modified pretty much? Are they just going to be robots just like,
Well, it all depends. You know, some of them are going to choose the transhumanist path, which is already in place. They're going to use technology to become immortal. And a lot of these people are associated with the elites. And those that are not associated with the elites, like the innocent children and the innocent adults that were coerced in order for them to keep their job, all that stuff that was injected in them is going to be neutralized upon the solar flash. So the solar flash is also going to act like an EMP to neutralize and nullify all the nanotechnology that is, you know, that was injected in their body. So it's going to kill it off, and then it's also going to kill off the 5G. It's going to kill off everything. It's almost like all the stuff that has been set up by the dark side and I'm sorry to say this, but you know, the evil AI alien overlord that all the evil aliens answer to, it's all going to be neutralized here in our world as we enter into the 4th and 5th density reality. Yeah.
Wow, that was a better answer than I hoped for. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So do you see the solar flash then as a literal, visible, and cataclysmic event, or do you see this more as a consciousness-based event?
It's going to be an event that is going to have an impact on everyone, but yes, it's going to be a critical, can I say, a shift in human consciousness to the next level of evolution. And we're all going to be affected by it, but we're not all going to go to the same level of power, because that is going to be determined based on how old your soul is. So the oldest of souls, those who have gone through through the initiatory process of ascension many of times, who are already at the level of universes, who have evolved to the level of becoming the entire mind of a universe, because, you know, even beyond humans, we still evolve into planets, eventually we become stars, and then we become nebulas, galaxies, and universes. I mean, evolution continues. So even those that are at the highest level, that were living universes that decided to come back into a 3rd dimensional human form, those are going to be at the top, you know, because they're the oldest of souls. They've already done this many, many a times.
You hear that, BA? You're going to be at the top.
I can't wait. I'm at the top anyway, so.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why they call them the 144,000. Those are the ones that are the old souls. Those are the ones that are going to be the meta-humans, the gods and goddesses.
We got to work on that name, Meta, because I've been trying to talk about that on IG, and I get so much pushback about the new Zuckerberg fucking Facebook bullshit.
What is that? I just noticed that.
I know. Well, he changed Facebook to Meta. Now, like, I just feel like it's been reappropriated and it's kind of tainted.
Well, it's an inversion, you know, like just like how the Kabbalah always inverts the ancient mystery school symbolisms, you know, like the pyramid with the eye in the center. It's all been inverted by the dark side. But the original term meta, if you go back to the original Greek translation, means it means superhuman. Yeah. You know, or even when you think of the term in terms of DC comics, you know, who do they call the metahumans, right? Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Superman. They call them metahumans. So meta means just above human, means like superhuman or godlike human.
Yeah,
that's what that means.
Yeah, I think you're onto something with that reappropriation there. It's almost like the Hindi swastika symbol being reappropriated by the Nazis. You know.
Absolutely, it's all been inverted. You know, even the swastika used to once be a symbol of balance, which is the balance of the 4 directions, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's also a balance of the cycles of the universe. Everything is in the universe has four quadrants.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the idea of the direction of Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel, I mean, it's just all part of that, the balance of
The four
the four
elements.
directions, the four
Yeah.
elements, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is like educational to me. I love this. There's nothing like two men that have their, really big brains and keep going.
Well,
I'm
thank you for
learning
the
so
compliment.
much.
I know. I knew you'd like this one. Also, Ishmael has the honor of being the first male we've had as a guest. This is, I think, episode 7 or 8. I'll have to look, but it's all been female.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. It's
Yeah.
nice to be different, right? To throw something different this time.
Yeah. Divine masculine energy. You and I, we're bringing it back. Like, this has become a huge thing for me. I feel like I'm on a mission especially with my life coaching business, but also my spirituality too. I call myself a mind, body, and spirit coach. And I'm trying to make the things that we do, you and I, especially with the incorporation of fitness and all of that, into this kind of holistic package that men can really get behind and start understanding, so they can open up spiritually, open up emotionally, and still feel like they're in their masculine energy, because it incorporates fitness and that primal protector energy too. So I'm trying to reach out and bring men into what I do, to show them like this stuff is cool. It's not like witchy and weird and all that. It's actually, this is, like you said, kind of the direction culture's moving in. This is the way all the systems are moving. This is like the spiritual ascension that's happening now. And you and I need to stand as masculine leaders, helping people elevate to that place.
I agree, brother.
Yeah.
It's time, Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so many guys out here that are just such low vibrational people, and I can't even be around it. I can't even go on dates with them. It's like, it's embarrassing. It's just like so off.
Well, they're primates. I mean, I shouldn't call them primates. They're younger souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the younger souls have recently graduated from the animal kingdom.
Yeah. Every single woman I know, BA2, and I'll just throw it out there for you, but every single woman I know has, exes with restraining orders, with, guys who are just insane, that won't leave them alone, that are threatening them, that are like stalking them on every social media platform, through every type of fucking bullshit profile they can make up, user 271346. It's nonstop. And it's like, the vibration of men, especially on this planet, it's really sad. It's really sad.
Sounds barbaric. Sounds very barbaric and primitive to me.
It is, and you have no idea.
You want to talk a little about it?
Yeah, no, sure. No, I mean, I guess everyone has a past and whatnot. No, I definitely was with someone that was very low vibrational, narcissist type mentality, and I got out of that relationship, thank goodness. But yeah, no, I do. I have a restraining order, and I have a really good lawyer. But yeah, no, he does still make fake accounts up and still look at all my stories and everything. And it's embarrassing, to say the least. It's like, I mean, leave me alone.
Yeah. Well, maybe once we become exalted into superhumans, you can use your powers to zap them and be like, here you go, drop a lightning ball.
Can you do that for me?
Sure, why not? If you want me to.
Yeah,
drop a lightning ball.
Actually physically do it, which I would love to see. You can do it like at home, just.
She wants to see like the full-on blood splat on the walls and everything.
Yeah,
oh boy.
Yeah.
You're not gonna mess with my BA.
Yeah. So, Ismael, when it comes to telekinesis or even the elements themselves, do you have a power that you see yourself specializing in, whether it's the weather or whether it's, metal or anything like that?
I work a lot with the quantum realm of reality, so I am constantly hacking and decoding the matrix in a way where I go into the quantum field in order to manipulate the simulation that we're in, or reality, whatever, matter, time, space. So that's my main ability, but I also like to connect with the force field, and I like to keep by doing so, I'm able to communicate with the elements and know exactly where the Earth is in her ascension, because it's like a birthing process. She's graduating into higher density. So it's almost like the old is going to be shedding pretty soon. It's going to be a grand purge.
Yeah.
And a new is going to emerge as a result of that. So I'm constantly monitoring where she's at. And at the same time, by tapping into the field, which binds and permeates the entire universe, I'm able to also know exactly where we are at in the greater scheme of things.
So if the old world is gonna be dead and gone, can I stop paying my bills? Because I'm tired of paying them.
Yeah, me too.
I think, that's all going to come to pass. That's all part of the old program of slavery. It's not going to exist anymore.
Like all your credit score and things like that, because that's, essentially now like how you get things in life. If you have a good credit score, you get this.
BA just wants some good news right here. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Should I just stop giving a shit about my credit score? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's all baloney. It's all going to, it's temporary. It's not going to exist in the new world. I'll tell you that.
Where's my bills? I'm ripping them up.
Yeah. BA's like, how soon until this new world begins?
Yeah, I'm actually pissed I just paid my Discover today, because that wouldn't have happened before if I had this conversation. You know what I mean?
Who has Discover?
Don't worry about your credit anymore. It's all gonna. This whole system, the way we know it, this world is all coming to pass. It's not gonna exist anymore.
Do you think that's coming with the solar flash that's coming in December, or what's your thought on that?
It could be. From what I understand, by tapping into the field, communicating with Helios, which is our sun, communicating with Melchior, which is our galaxy, it seems like it's probably going to be this year, at the end of this year, because everything is, we're reaching a climax. I mean, now they're forcing kids to get the vaccine, so it's like we need some sort of divine intervention, So something's going to happen. Enough is enough, exactly. So something has to give. Something has to happen.
Did you guys see what happened at Astro World? This is like the number one thing right now going around, so might as well talk about it. They all had to have their you-know-what to get in, and then the 5G frequency, from what I have read, and everything was like a sacrificial thing. I don't know.
I'm behind in that part of the story.
Astro World, what is that exactly?
Oh God, never mind. It's the rapper.
The concert, Travis Scott.
Yeah, Travis Scott. I'm not into rap or anything, but he had a concert, and everyone that went to it, they had to have the jab, and I guess the frequencies of his music and everything, it was just making people like hyperventilate, and I don't know. I guess he sacrificed like 8 people at the concert. I don't know. It's all over the internet.
Sounds pretty satanic to me.
It was a satanic ritual. People said that they were literally in hell. That's what they felt like.
Wow, that's crazy.
Holy shit!
I went down the rabbit hole last night. I couldn't sleep. I was on TikTok. I'm like, no, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I couldn't stop. It's all over the internet.
Well, yeah, I didn't go that deep, so I didn't know this was like some reaction that vaccine people had to certain frequencies or anything like that. I just thought it was a fucking stampede at a concert.
Yeah, no, it was like more to it than that, I guess. I don't know. But the way, like, the symbolism and everything with the celebrities and everything and Illuminati, I won't say too much. I don't want them to ban me on YouTube. But it was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. So if you guys have a minute and you want to, like, look it up, if you have free time tonight, your mind will be blown. Yeah.
Well, Ismael touches on the Illuminati a bit in the book. I don't remember if you talk about them by name, but I know it's referred to as the Cabal, which has to do with the Dracos and the Overlords, who are essentially the Luciferian infiltrators who are basically taking over Earth in the name of AI or in the name of the reptilian races.
Well, they were, but they've been stopped. The forces of light from the many dimensions have stepped in, and the battle's been won in the higher dimensions, so it's just a matter of time before it manifests in the physical realm for everybody else to see.
I'm nervous.
No, it's time to be excited about. Things are going to be happening for humanity. Great things are going to be happening.
Yeah.
I mean, once the shift takes place, you realize: is your name really badass? What's your?
This is my business.
Oh, okay. What's your real name?
Beth Ann.
Kathy?
Beth Ann.
Beth Ann.
Oh,
B-A.
Beth Ann. Okay,
B-A.
Beth Ann.
Same as badass, though.
See, that's so cute, Bethan.
Yeah,
Bethan, cool. Well, nice to formally meet you, Bethan.
We will meet again.
We can just call her BA. It goes for badass and Beth Ann, so it works both ways.
All right, we'll go with BA.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, when this thing happens, and some of us are going to actually, our genetic mutation is going to be complete before others. So some of us are going to be already stepping into this fifth dimensional reality by the end of this year. So the portals are opening, but not everybody's going in at the same time. From what I understand is it's going to take like 2 to 3 years for everybody else, for the masses to go into the fourth and fifth density reality. But the portals are going to be opening already this year, at the end of this year. So
portals.
For the portals,
It's like it's kind of like the divine arc or something like that,
Well, the veil is lifting. The cosmic current that used to allow immortals and mortals and wizards and everything in between to coexist is coming back. And what that has to do is the restoration of the 12th dimensional vortexes from the 12 densities back to the Earth. So the Earth is going to be operating on different levels of reality all at once. But the people that are in the fifth dimension are going to be able to, be multiple at multiple places. They're going to be able to go down into the fourth density and into the third density. And then those that are in the sixth density are going to be even above those in the fifth density. So we're going to have people that are going to be coexisting all the way to the 12th density. It's going to be fun. It's going to really be a multi-dimensional reality.
Sounds like a vacation. Yeah? You guys want to go on a vacation?
I'm excited.
Around the world to different dimensions?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah, BA is going to have a front row ticket. I'm sure you probably have the purest heart of us all.
I don't know about that, but I mean, that just sounds exciting. Yeah. I love stuff like this. I could listen to you guys talk about this all day long. It's exciting.
How do you feel about it all, BA? I mean, a lot of this is kind of new to you, so what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, last year, like I said, I had my spiritual awakening, and now I'm never going back, Taylor. So I see things for what they are, and that's why a lot of people that were my friends and family, they've dropped off because they're not for my highest good. And that's okay. I've always been the one that stands out in the family, I guess, the black sheep, and I'm okay with that. I'm a lone wolf.
Yeah. You're a bad bitch.
I'm a bad bitch.
She's also a starseed. Did you know you were a starseed, BA?
I believe I did, but I think you just confirmed it.
You are. So you are going to be powerful when this shift takes place. Use your powers wisely.
Yeah.
Continue.
Imagine walking around with a magic wand, being able to turn anybody into anything you want.
Oh, she does.
She
already imagines that. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I kind of do that now.
Yeah.
Really? But... Well, the thing about living in a fifth density reality is that imagination is key. We're going to use our imagination to instantaneously materialize anything we want into physicality. That's how powerful fifth dimensional beings are. They're able to, within the moment that they think something, it materializes on the spot.
How does that work for love?
All you got to do is just think of the everything that you want in a partner, but you also have to feel it, not only think it. And when you do that, the universe will manifest it to you in the exact manner that you want.
Wow.
So yeah, things are going to be. That's why it's important that we learn how to master our thoughts right now and emotions, because once we enter this higher frequency, everything we think about and feel, we're just going to be popping it into reality. So make sure you only think good things, because you don't want to be popping in things you don't want.
That's true. No, I completely agree with you, because I can think of something, let's say, and it sounds so funny to say out loud, but if I think positive and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get like a check in the mail or something, or I think in my head, like, nothing crazy, like $1 million, but like, I'll be like, I want my account to look like this. Something will happen, or something will get refunded to me, and it'll be like in my account, or I'll get something in the mail. It's crazy. And it's a positive thought. I don't know.
Yeah. You've been telling me about that for a year, by the way.
Yeah. I manifest everything into my reality.
Yeah.
So, which means that you're already vibrating at a higher frequency than most people, because for most people, they don't even know how to manifest. They're like, oh, but I think about it and I have a wish for it and I visualize. And I'm like, well, it's more than that, It's also your state of frequency, and how is that determined by your emotional state? That's how we control the frequency of our vibration, is through our feelings.
Yeah, it's so true. But as we can all admit, it's easier said than done, because there's a
Oh, yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of things on planet Earth that are, they are real. They're real issues, financial issues, medical issues, family issues, and it is fucking hard, man. Like I have been,
Yeah.
divorce, autoimmune disease, all these kind of things have been very difficult, and it's I've tried to claw my way back up to, positive thinking. I'm into neurolinguistic programming, metacognitive theory, and just trying to keep my thoughts in, divine alignment. But, things happen,
All of our
things
shit,
can be
no
rough.
one's perfect. I'm sure you both have been through. I've been through the ringer, and
Yeah, I
I
know.
come out, and I'm still alive, and I'm healthy, and that's why I remind myself every day. And if I keep the thoughts pure upstairs, that's when the good things come to me.
Right.
That's how it works. And also, it's not really what happens, it's how we react to things that determines if we pass the test or not. Because see it as a test. The universe is constantly testing our strength. Because, we're going to be having these amazing powers in the near future. Do you think that the universe would just hand over these powers? No, we have to go through this training, whatever you want to call it, to see if we could undergo and overcome the challenges that are being thrown at us.
Yeah.
So it's all part of the test. Yeah.
It's the test. Metaphorically, I almost see it as putting a microscope to your soul. Just really being able to see it in with completely exposed, completely transparent. What is your soul made of? What is the essence of you? What frequency, what vibration are you really operating at? Not the shit you say, but who are you deep down on the inside, and your astral being.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
James.
I agree.
So one of the things we talk about on this show, one connection between BA was getting at this before with the spiritual awakening and going through trauma to get there. Ismael, what kind of trauma have you been through that really kick-started this process of your starseed ascension, or just your interest in this whole alternative, kind of new age spirituality field?
Probably when my mother passed away at an early age, I was about 16 years. That really, really put me into a deep depression, to the point where I became an alcoholic at the age of 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, I was drinking for like 5 years straight, waking up to a bottle of vodka in the morning, a huge bottle of vodka. And then after I finished that, I would just drink 40 ounces of malt liquor throughout the day. So I would just constantly be drunk every day from the morning to the time I went to bed. And after 5 years of just almost killing myself and turning my blood into alcohol, the doctor said, "Hey, if you keep drinking like this, you're going to develop cirrhosis. You're going to develop kidney issues. It's not healthy for you to continue on this path." And so that was probably one of the most traumatic, challenging, as far as like mentally and emotionally, things that have ever happened to me. Because my mother was a single parent, and that's all I had. So that was pretty. I didn't take it very well, so I became an alcoholic. But luckily, my aunts pushed me into going to rehab when I was 20, and then luckily I met a person there who was. He wasn't there because he had a drug or drinking issue. He was actually there because he was sent by the masters. I didn't even know who the masters were back then. Like Babaji. We hear about these ascended beings, right? These masters that work from behind the scenes, they're called the Great White Brotherhood.
Do you know what he's talking about?
I've heard him talk about this, I think, on one of your lives, I believe.
Yeah.
But feel free to continue.
Sure. So I guess everything happened for a reason. So even though I was in the lowest point of my life, killing myself, just emotionally, mentally, just devastated, ruined, I felt, I went to rehab for that reason, to see if I could, clean my act. And I ended up meeting this guy who said he was sent by the masters because they knew I was going there, and that he had all these gifts for me. And the gifts were all these books on enlightenment, metaphysics, astral projection, everything. I was like, well, that's all the stuff that I've been suppressing for many years. And then he also said he needed to initiate me. And for him, it was by teaching me Kriya Kundalini Yoga. That was his way of initiating me. So teaching me these ancient methods of unlocking my spiritual potential. I didn't really take it serious at the age of 19, 20 until maybe a year later. That's when I started practicing. And then that's when I started getting the downloads. And then once I realized who I was when I was connecting with my higher self, I didn't have to drink anymore. I went from being a depressed kid to being the happiest person ever. So yeah, the death of my mother really was a pivotal, a critical point in my life where, if it wasn't for me going to that rehab and meeting that person who gave me all that information to start with and who taught me how to meditate, I would have never been here. So yeah, that was a very, sorry about that. That was probably the only time in my life where I really just hit rock bottom.
Yeah,
Not to mention all these dark nights of the souls that we all go through when we have this awakening, right? We all kind of we have ups and downs, but nothing compares to when my mother passed away. That was just like, I didn't want to accept it as reality. I was mad at the creator. I was mad at everybody. I was just an angry kid.
Mm-hmm. So. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry about that. That's terrible. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Well, everything happened for a reason. I wouldn't change the past now. It's everything that ever happened to me, all the bullying in high school, not fitting in, all not having friends because I was the odd duck, right? I was different. It all brought me to where I am today. I am today the person that I am, very strong mentally and emotionally. Nothing can bring me down. Nothing can break me as a result of all of those heartaches and all that, what most people would consider trauma.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. All three of us here, it's like we all come from trauma and, I've had a rough time. I've had a really hard time in life and school, relationships, family, all that kind of stuff. But when you say you wouldn't trade it for anything, I understand that. I start seeing, a few years ago, I started seeing the divine plan and everything and how that, it is all part of some cosmic life path that is really leading us, all three of us, to a strong spiritual ascension, standing in our truth and in our power, and that you need those traumatic things as karmic lessons to really make you who you are and to make you understand your purpose here in life.
100%. I can disagree.
Yeah. All the things that we've all gone through, I think it makes us, in a sense, more relatable too, because we've been through so many things that, a lot of times people that come to me, I'm like, oh, I've been through that, so now I can help you.
Exactly.
I mean, there's nothing I haven't been through. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more lessons coming up. I mean, that's life, and that's how I get stronger, and that's why I'm a bad bitch, and that's why my business is Badass Lash. So anything you throw at me, it's I'm just going to get through it like I always do.
You just get stronger. That's the way I see it.
More powerful.
And things are still being thrown at me. I mean, it was just like, a week ago that my original account got hacked right before I reached 10K.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened with that? I heard about that.
Well, I woke up, what was it, Tuesday last week? Well, I woke up Tuesday morning, and by the morning I have like 30 questions already from people that are reading my book. They're fascinated by the information. It's a lot of information. And I was like, okay, so I have time before my workout. I like to work out in the morning. I woke up at 5:30. I have 30 minutes for my workout. I'm just going to go through my Instagram and answer questions. And I realized that I couldn't access it. It wasn't popping up. And I was like, what? So I was like, okay, let me delete the app and then let me download and put my passcode. But it wasn't my passcode anymore. It wasn't even my email. They changed everything. So I filed a complaint. I tried to reach out to Instagram and let them know that my account was hacked and it was actually stolen and I want it back. And it took them 2 days to reply. I was like, oh my God.
Just an email too, right? Not even a phone.
Email.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way about contacting them. There is no number direct.
That's insane. Yeah.
And I have a feeling, I went into a meditation that day over by the ocean, which is my sanctuary. I like to power up with with the Pacific Ocean in front of me. Yeah. And my guides told me that it was that from the beginning I was monitored because they know that I had a lot of knowledge. So I was a threat to the powers that be, and that they were working in collaboration with big tech and these hackers. So these hackers were actually paid in order to take my account because they didn't want me to continue, using that account. I mean, I think I was like 200-300 people right before that I needed to reach 10K. So they know that once you reach 10K, isn't it like at that point you get more privileges on Instagram?
Yeah, you can do like add links and stuff. And
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so they didn't want me to get to that point. So they, because I am very well protected physically. I mean, I've had several times where the Illuminati agents have tried to recruit me. We're like, okay, this guy's too powerful. If we can't kill him because he's got all this divine protection, what if we just convert him? And I turned them down many times. But they know that. So they, of course, go after my account, and then they go after my finances. But anyways, I was able to recuperate the $600 that they took from my account. I had two accounts. Well, they only took from the account that I had my card linked with my Instagram. They were able to access that account, not my savings. I mean, God, if that would have been the case, I would have been, I would have been well.
No.
So yeah, I mean, it happens, and I'm a warrior. I bounced back up, so I started a new account, and I'm gonna just keep going forward.
Yeah, God wins. God always
exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck those beasts.
It's unreal. It's a good lesson to people out there. I've been talking about this. BA and I have been talking about this on our lives too. To not put all your eggs into one social media basket because of that. That we have to expand a little bit or figure out alternative ways of getting our message out there besides exclusively Instagram, or for other people exclusively Facebook, because these things are very vulnerable and they're extremely subject to censorship and cultural trends. I have seen things that 10 years ago was mainstream thought is now things that are being banned, and vice versa. So everybody who feels that they have freedom of speech on any type of platform, the reality is you have freedom of speech right now as long as what you're saying is in line with what is, the allowable index card of opinion, as Tom Woods would say. But ultimately, it's all on the chopping block, and we don't control it. It's controlled by massive, big money, big banking, financial forces, financial institutes, tech industry, and all that. And they can pull the plug on any of us anytime.
Well, Ismael, you're doing something right, honey, because they're coming after you. So.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Well,
me too.
Let them come after me, Yeah. Every day I get stronger and stronger, and my telekinesis is coming back. And if anything happens, I know that I'm going to be switched. Like, this is from what I understand is if they were to try to kill me, like physically, or send an agent or anybody, or even the nanotech that is like the size of a mosquito to try to like shoot me.
Yeah.
I have so much protection that they say that I have some sort of an inbuilt mechanism within my DNA where if they were to come at me with advanced tech or AI or, something, that I would actually manifest my telekinetic abilities just for that specific time so that I could defend myself and kill them instead with my powers. So I have
Good and you.
Yeah.
Good and you. It's on fire.
BA, cool off. Drink that
Sorry,
water.
That's hot. It's like, come at me, bro. I'm with the higher ups.
Yeah, I know, right?
Me?
Oh, that's good. Well, okay. I mean, we're almost up to the hour here, so yeah. I want to ask Ismael. So I'll ask BA first. I'm not sure what her answer is, but
What?
I'm really curious for more Ismael on this. Okay, BA, what superhero do you identify with, or somebody from Star Wars, or somebody from fantasy?
It's not anybody from Star Wars. I never watched Star Wars. I don't really follow superheroes. I don't know, Superman.
Oh, come on. All right. Ishmael, start. Because I'm serious I'm curious, because I know Ishmael and I grew up in like the comic world and all that geeky stuff, and I'm curious who you see as kind of a superhero that you really like identify with or relate to.
You guys have the floor. Off you go.
BA, you're Wonder Woman. All right, Ishmael, go.
Are you familiar with Dragon Ball Z? I know this is off the comics, but
yeah, I'm definitely familiar. Yeah.
Cartoon, right?
Yeah.
It was a Japanese animation, but oh my God, the way it was laid out. It was about many worlds. It was about different extraterrestrial races. You had the good guys, you had the bad guys. It was about multiple universes, and each universe had a god. And so you had what we call the 12 universes, kind of similar to my book. And then you had the god of creation and the god of destruction. Well, the whole purpose of the show was to introduce the chosen race, which is a race that was able to reach even levels of power beyond the gods, and they were known as the Saiyans. So I identify myself with Goku because his whole philosophy as a Super Saiyan and as a defender of life and peace and justice was that you know, he was always humble. No matter how powerful he got, even when he reached ultra instinct beyond the level of God, he was still humble. He never used his powers or misused them for evil or for selfish reason. He only used his abilities for the protection of all life. And to me, that is golden. So he was like my number one, like, I want to be like Goku. If I become super powerful, Goku that's the blueprint I'm following. He set the blueprint for me. Now, as far as like comics, I identify with Superman, you know, because his whole concept is he's humble. He comes to the Earth from Krypton. He's got all this power to, if he wanted to just take over the Earth and pretty much conquer the whole galaxy. But instead, he decides to be humble, and he decides to use his power for good, to defend the Earth. And to me, that is what everything is about, you know, is the protection and the preservation of all life.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I like, you know, Thor. I like, who else? I like the character of the Iron Man. I think he's, you know, his little cockiness, you know, his a little, just being all in, you know, he's one of those guys that just, you just have to love him, you know, he speaks his mind. He doesn't care what people think.
Yeah.
But I like them all. I think all the superhero characters, the way they were written by these comic writers, were all designed to kind of influence the starseeds, you know, so that we could prepare for our role in the new Earth when we do have these powers. So I believe personally that the comics were written for us in order to kind of plant the seed and influence us in a way where it's like, wow, I'd rather be the superhero than the villain.
Yeah. Oh, and Superman is the original starseed.
Well, his story goes back to the idea that originally the Jews were expecting a Superman 2,000 years ago. They weren't expecting this mortal riding a donkey preaching love, you know.
Yeah.
They were expecting a real life 6'3", you know, Adonis, fucking built like a He-Man with six-pack, and coming down from the sky with a little red cape and overthrowing the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the original prophecy was talking about. So that's the reason why the Jews don't believe that he was Christ, because they believed him to be the Superman, superhero,
right,
okay, with superpowers. Well, the whole concept of Superman was written by these Jewish boys who had access to the original records before the Bible was modified and, you know, changed. And so they created this whole concept of this idea, of this ideal man who comes from a different planet, whose planet was destroyed, right? And he was the only survivor, was sent to Earth. So it reads along the lines of the biblical story, right? He sends his only son to the Earth, and he says, you know, to the Earthlings, he's going to be like a god, right? Because of the superior genetics. And so he becomes this like wonderful man. And from the beginning, you know, he was told, you know, what you do with your power is totally up to you, but just know that you have the power to either break this world or make it. But know that whatever you choose, that the people will follow. The people will follow you in your footsteps because of your power. Mm-hmm. So choose wisely. And that was the advice that was given to Kal from his father from Krypton when he appeared to him, you know, in the crystal caves, and he kind of gave him the message when he was exploring who he was. So that's how that story came about. It came about from the original context that was written over 2,000 years ago, when they were expecting, you know, this Superman Messiah to come save the world from the Roman Empire.
I love it.
Yeah. Good you. I'm gonna get a wand.
Right?
I'm gonna get a wand. I'm gonna be like bippity boppity boo.
Yeah. The savior that brings down the empire. That is the archetypal story. Jesus Christ, the Roman Empire, and into the modern day with the starseeds and, you know, the Cabal, the Illuminati, the New World Order. It's the savior versus the empire. There it is.
That's what the context that they wrote that in was actually referring to now, because the Cabal to now represents the modern day Roman Empire, Cabal, New World.
Yeah. I like one of my favorite quotes is Superman is always fighting to make the world a better place, and Batman is always fighting to keep the world the way it is.
I never heard that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like he's not fighting for regression. He's just fighting to keep it, you know, how it is now, like just to preserve that order. But yeah, for me, I was definitely a Batman child, especially with like the '89 movie. That was like the most influential. I know, right? BA's like, who the fuck? What are they talking about?
Batman.
No, I know. But now I'm a Doctor Strange guy. So.
Oh yeah, Doctor Strange is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I relate very heavily with having the spiritual awakening through the hospital experience like him, because I've spent multiple months over the past 3 years in the hospital, and that's when I was doing all my tarot card readings, booking clients, reading all the books on the occult, really diving into it deeper than my background, raised by a witch and raised by a tarot author and all of that stuff. That's when it became a family journey and transmuted into my journey on the spiritual path. And it was Stephen Strange, the disintegration of the ego and stepping into, a much larger spiritual, mystical world.
It's amazing. Beautiful.
Yeah. All right, Ismael.
So since you,
go
ahead.
ahead.
Ask you, since you read my entire book, what did you think? Was it really like something? Was it one of your favorite books that you ever read? I'm sorry. Yeah,
it was one of my favorite books I've ever read. I recommend everybody. It is fascinating. I've talked about it a lot. It's hard to believe that it's from you as a conduit, as a channel, that this stuff is considered nonfiction. Even for me, even how deep I am in this world, because the cosmology is so consistent, so dense, so rich, that it feels more like science fiction or high fantasy. But the fact that it is real and the amount of work that you put into it, and just how you related it in the end to after you go through the history of this entire intergalactic battle into modern times and where this is all going, I was extremely on the edge of my seat all the way through. Yeah, all the way through. I was like, this is fascinating.
Well, that was my intention.
Are you selling this online, Ismael?
Yeah, it's on
Amazon. My bio.
What? So let's tag him underneath when we post this on YouTube, and we're gonna do that anyways. I will put my lashes on there. We'll put his book.
Yeah, we'll tag it.
You can book with you. We'll do it all.
Yeah, and
they'll help each other.
Are you on Instagram, BA?
Yeah. Have I not added you?
I don't know. Do you have my new account, or are you on my old account?
It's definitely an old
Remember,
account.
my old account got hacked, so my new account is Project Restoration Zion, and then there's a number 1.
Project Restoration. Okay.
All right. Well, I want to just you got it. Ismael, so I want to wrap it up. Yeah, your book is amazing. I can't wait till the next one comes out. I think we need to bring you back because I want to dive into a little more about the process that it took for you to write it. But I have to do my live at 6:30. So we should just let's get you back on for another episode over the next month, if that's okay with you.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, I think there's more to unpack here. But why don't you pitch everything about yourself right now? We'll just close out with you saying where we can find you, where we can find your book, and all that stuff.
Yeah, the easiest way to get my book is in my bio on my Instagram. It's just one click away underneath my name. And it takes 2 days to get there. If you guys really want to know about the true history of the Earth, learn about the suppressed history of our galaxy, and learn about the cosmos in a way where, your mind will be stretched beyond the limits to this higher perspective about our existence, then I would suggest to really order my book, because it's very it's life-changing. Many people have told me it was life-changing. Like after they read my book,
I agree.
They say their perspective in life it's at a whole new different level of seeing things. So,
yeah.
Very cool. What a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's a work. It took me 20 years to research it, 10 years to write it, and this whole time I was connected to these higher dimensions because I was just getting like all this information that has never been revealed to the Earthlings. So, yeah, I felt honored and special. But again,
you are special.
You are special, and I just want to say as a final thought, like I'm a big reader, and when I was reading it, I felt like I was reading something that I had not read before. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like another book on a similar subject of things that I know. I'm like, this is entirely original, like how it's all put together, and especially the starseed subject in general. And like I said, the cosmology, the mythos, it's very, very fascinating stuff. And I'm happy to pitch it here on the show. So our cosmic origins, yeah.
It's actually our cosmic origin without the S.
Without the S, yeah. So don't listen to me.
It's not plural, Taylor.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Don't mispitch it. Okay. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Ismael, thank you so much. This is great to have you on here, see this, a few other sides of you, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you for having me here. And it was nice meeting you, BA.
Nice meeting you too. We're friends now. I added you on both my accounts, so.
Sweet. So I'll go ahead and follow you back on Instagram.
Sweet.
Cool. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Oh, check out my live in 20 minutes. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.